This is an overview of the Mega Menu widget by Unlimited Elements for Elementor. Today we're going to show you how you can make a menu just like we have on our website using our Mega Menu widget. Without no more further ado, let's get started. To get started, you're going to want to make sure that you have Unlimited Elements for Elementor Pro version installed on your WordPress website. Inside of the widget library, we're going to navigate to Menu Widgets, hover over the Mega Menu widget, and click Install. We're going to do the same thing for the Mega Menu interlinks, which I will also demonstrate in this video. Now we can jump into our header template to start creating our Mega Menu. So the first thing we're going to do is add the Mega Menu widget to our layout. So I'm just going to drag and drop the widget inside over here, and I'm going to collapse this section and open the menu items section. Over here we can start adding links to our Mega Menu. Each one can have a title, which is what's going to be displayed over here. So let's duplicate this a couple of times, and I'm going to give each one of these a name. So 1, 2, and 3. We got that set up, and now what I'm going to do is jump into menu links over here, and inside of align items I'm going to align this to the end just so it snaps to the end over here. You can also play with the gap if you want to make a bigger or smaller gap. The way the Mega Menu works is that you can directly inside of the header template add sections that will act as menu items and connect to each one of these menu items. So let's do the first one. First example is going to be a simple example. So I'm just going to click the plus over here, add a one column layout, give that a style, just going to give that a little subtle gray background so we can differentiate it from the white background over here. And as links, I'm going to use the icon list, which I think is pretty convenient. You can use anything inside of here. So it's just a regular section that you can add whatever you want inside. This column, I'm going to duplicate it once, twice, and 3 times. And you can continue adding stuff to this and editing your section however you want. So just for example, I'm going to add a little bit of padding. So let's unlock the padding over here. Give that 30 pixels from the top, 30 pixels from the bottom. You can add titles to each of the columns. You can add images. You can add anything that you want. So this is just an example. And the next thing I'm going to do is connect this section with this menu item. The way that it works is with CSS ID. So I'm going to give this a CSS ID of 1, jump back into the Mega Menu, menu items, edit the first one, and over here I'm going to write section ID 1. Now what you will see that once this refreshes, now there's a small little drop down over here that's showing that this menu item has a corresponding assigned menu section. I'm going to click Update to save, and to view this, the best way is to jump into the front end view, refresh the page over here, and now I can test it, and I see that it's working as I've expected, which is really, really awesome. Think about it. How fast did I do that? And how much flexibility in design I have over here. I can do whatever I want. I can design this any way I want. So that's the first way to work with the Mega Menu, adding widgets manually and connecting the IDs. The second way is using the Mega Menu interlinks widget. So what I'm going to do is I'll duplicate the section. I'm going to delete whatever I don't need. Delete this widget over here. And instead, what I'm going to do is add the Mega Menu interlinks widget, which is the second widget that we've installed. Now this widget, we made it specially for using inside of the mega menu. And the reason for that is that we saw that usually the items in mega menus have a graphic element, a title, and some text. So we thought, what would be the best way to do this? Of course, you can do it manually with icon boxes, but we wanted an easier way to edit this and add a lot of items and edit them together to get a nice look and feel. So over here in the items, let's just duplicate some of these items so we can get our grid set up over here. And inside of general, you can play around with the gap and start designing your mega menu. You can decide to show a title, show the text, and stuff like that. You can play around with the columns, okay? So look how easy that is. I don't need to add columns, duplicate, copy. I just play around with the number over here until I get the layout that I want that's suitable for the number of the links that I have. And in justify content, instead of center, I'm going to move that to the start just so everything's aligned nicely. Let's add some item padding. Let's go for 30 pixels and add a subtle hover background, just so we have like a white hover background so users know that they can click on this and this is linkable. So we want sort of an indication for the users that they can click on this. Awesome, so I think we've got almost everything set up. Let's just maybe give the titles a little bit bigger typography. Ooh, there we go. Awesome, looks nice. So you can play around with this and really it has all the design functionality that you would need. Let's jump into the items, see what we have over here. So it's separated into content and style. Over here you can link it to whatever page you want to link inside of your website. Of course, use the dynamic tags if you're using Elementor Pro. Graphic element, you can also change this element over here to a image or text or whatever you want. You can change the icon. Let's change the icon. Let's do a robot just as an example. Here we go. And inside of style, you can decide to give each one of these a different color. So that's really cool as well. Awesome. So once you're finished designing the section using the mega menu interlinks, we're going to link this to the second menu item the same exact way. So I'm going to click on the section, advanced tab, give that an ID, jump into the mega menu items. Inside of section ID, I'm going to write 2 over here. So now there's an arrow and they are connected. Click update to save and I'm going to refresh. There we go. Look how nice that is. Perfect. Awesome. So 1 link, 2 link, and we're going to go for technique number 3. For technique number 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually copy a full demo section from the Unlimited Elements website. So let's jump into Unlimited Elements website. Over here, I'm going to go into Mega Menu Interlinks, and I'm going to choose one of the demos inside of the demo over here. Each demo section has a copy button, so I can just decide which section I want. I'm going to click copy. Now, to paste this in your website, you're going to need to install a plugin that's called Doubly. I'm going to post a link to the free plugin. It's a free plugin. And then you can install it and use the copy and paste buttons. So I've copied the section. Let's jump into our header template. We're going to need to preview the template inside of the front end because the paste button shows only inside of the front end view. And I'm going to click paste. Right click, paste. And over here I have an option to paste the section that I've just copied inside of the header. Now it's really important that you notice where you're pasting this, because you don't want to confuse it with the content. You want to paste this inside of the header. Otherwise, it will paste it to the page and it will not show on all the mega menu pages. So we want to paste it in the header, under the header. I'm going to click paste over here. Now it's bringing in all the content, all the styles, all are my custom SVG icons, everything. So that's pretty cool. You can see it's already added. We can close this. Now in the editor, I'm going to refresh the page. And now we will have an option to connect the new section that we've just added. I'm going to push this section down to the end over here because it's number 3. Inside of the advanced, I'm going to give it a CSS ID and edit my mega menu. Let's go into menu items, and over here in section ID, I'm going to write 3. Awesome. Drop down arrow, connected, update to save, front end view, refresh the page, and let's check our mega menu out. How cool is that, guys? I mean, how simple and cool and easy was that to make a mega menu? Awesome. So I think we've went over the important stuff over here. You can also, by the way, get sections that have a little bit more interactivity inside of them. You know what? Let's just show another example of that. So let's go actually, this time I'm going to navigate in the widget library to the icon bullets. And what I want to show you guys is that over here, I'm going to copy a section, and that's a regular section inside of the website. And even that can act as a menu item. So let's go over here to this section. So right, this could have been some kind of navigation inside of my mega menu. And whenever a user will click the read more, he will go to that page. So this is something really cool and interactive and unique to make a unique design. I'm going to copy the section using the Doubly copy button. Again, you're going to need Doubly installed on your website. And I'm going to jump into the front end, click the Doubly paste button, right click paste, and now it's asking me where I want to paste it. Again, notice that you're pasting inside of the header and not inside of the page. So I've pasted this into the header. This widget or this section has a little bit more media and stuff like that. Look how good that works. I mean, in a matter of seconds, you can get everything up and running. I mean, you can create amazing websites like this in seconds. Let's refresh the page over here. And I'm going to add a menu item and connect them using IDs as we did before. So let's move this section to the end of the page. There you go. Give that an ID. I'm going to give it ID 4. Let's go into my mega menu items, add a new item, give it a title, give it a section ID, update the page, front end view, refresh the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, perfect. Mega menu, remote controls, interactivity, everything's going on over here. Awesome. So that's about the core feature of how we're adding links and connecting them to the different sections. Now we're going to dive in a bit deeper, go over all the settings and understand how this is working. So first of all, when you're editing a menu item, you have an option for it to be just a link. I mean, not all items in our menu are meant to open a dropdown. So if you don't want it to open a dropdown, just select link, put in the link, and that's it. It's not going to be a dropdown. The next option is for clickable link. In case you want users to be able to click this and not just hover over it and open the section, you want it to go to a separate URL, over here and not just the drop downs. So you just select clickable link and then you can put in the link over here. Drop down width and disable drop down in mobile. This is really important because the way our mega menu works, it's fully responsive, and in some cases you might want to disable the drop down in mobile and make only the clickable link work. Also, you can decide if you want certain items to show on desktop, certain items to show on mobile, or they can show on both. In most cases, most use cases will want them to show on both. But for example, if I have something only working on desktop, then I can decide to show it only on desktop. Awesome. Let's go over the responsive settings over here. So first of all, over here, we have an option for hamburger icon, close menu icon, and the responsive breakpoint, which is the breakpoint where it starts working as a mobile view. So let's click over here, responsive mode. I'm going to collapse this, and you can see that it turned into a hamburger icon, which I can click on. Let's edit this, align the icon to the right. So style, hamburger icon, alignment to the right, and now it's aligned to the right. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to into the advanced, and I'm going to give this a high set index, just so when it opens above my sections and not under them. So that's about it. This is how it works in responsive mode. If you want to see how the drop downs work, I'm going to view this in the front end view. So I saved my page. Let's inspect, mobile view, and now we can see how these items are opening up. And of course, you can adjust the sections using Elementor responsive settings to make this suitable for your needs. But you know, it's Elementor. Everything is pretty out of the box when you're talking about responsive mode. Of course, you're going to need to adjust padding, font sizes, and stuff like that. But it's pretty simple and out of the box. You can see I almost didn't do anything, and it's working amazingly. Let's go back to desktop view, and over here there's also an option to choose menu item open. So you can decide if these are going to open on hover or on click. So we went over all the settings in general. Now the next setting is for using a template. Now to use a template, you're going to need to create the template first of all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these sections into a separate template. That will just give me the ability to work in a cleaner workspace. I mean, it depends on your preference, but this is certainly an option for creating a mega menu. So I'm just going to add a new template. I think I'm going to go for page. I'm going to call it mega menu sections. Create template. And I'm going to move my sections by copy and paste. So let's copy the first section. Right click copy. And right click paste. Right click copy. Right click paste. Copy, paste, last one, copy, and paste. So we've moved all our sections. I'm gonna publish this. Awesome. Let's jump back inside, delete these sections from here, from our header, save the header, go back inside of here. Let's refresh the page. So right now we're in our template. And when you're copying and pasting sections inside of Elementor, you're going to need to give them the ID again. So need to go over all of these sections. Give each one of these an ID. Last one. And what else I'm going to do is I'm just going to hide the title over here. So let's go into the page settings, hide the title, click update, and our section is set up. The next thing I'm going to do is go into the mega menu. Inside of template, I'm going to search for my mega menu sections. Now, it's not finding it right now, so I'm just going to refresh, save and refresh. Let's click again to edit the meta menu. And there it is. Awesome. So as you can see, it now found those. Going to click update. Back into the front end view. And it's working as expected. So this is just another way you can work with it. It's not a must, but some users prefer to have all of these sections in a different workspace. So that's about that. Inside of menu links, about align items, we've talked at the beginning of the video. Items gap, we've talked about in the beginning. Show expand collapse indicator, that's the small little arrow over here. You can decide to show it or not. You can decide to show arrow animation or not. Hover effect. Now this is an important setting. Over here I'm going to set this to underline. And now I have a little small indicator when I'm hovering over each one of these. Let's jump into menu dropdown. And this is everything about the sections that are opening when we hover. Now a really important setting is the offset. And the reason why it's important, I'm not sure that you've noticed, but when I'm opening these up right now, you can see that it opens very close to the logo. And I might want to move it a little bit down. So in offset Y, I'm going to add 15 pixels over here, click update to save, and I'm going to refresh, and now you can see that it's not so close to the logo. So that's what offset does. It just moves the drop downs in pixels. Open transition, you can change this to any transition that you want. Right now it's fading in, which looks awesome. You have transition speed, you can show a tip, which is a small little corner when you're hovering over the drop downs. Overlay, you can add an overlay over your content. Testing and tools. This is really important. Now, over here, we have an option to activate the menu in the editor. So as you can see right now, when I'm hovering over these, it's not working. If I activate it, then I have an option to see the actual menu, how it works inside of the editor. This is really useful also in the previous use case that I've showed in how you use it. We have an option to show arrows, debug available item IDs. So just as an example, if I turn this on, it will show me a list of the IDs that I've added to each one of these. Same thing for available element IDs. It will show any IDs I have on the page. And hide sections in editor, that's for the previous use case that we've showed when we have the sections over here under and you don't want to show them anymore, especially if you're editing different pages on the website. You don't want these sections to interfere inside of the editor, so you can just move this to just hide and it will hide those sections and you won't see them once you've finished working on the mega menu, but you want to continue working on your website. Menu items, we've talked about this. You can duplicate items, delete items, add a new item, and we've talked about everything inside over here. Styling options, there's nothing special over here, so I'm not going to go over it, but you can design every aspect of the mega menu. If it's typography, hover effects, active is for the current page, for example, and drop downs. Okay, so you can do a lot of stuff over here. This is for the hamburger icon that's going to show on responsive mode, close icon that's going to show on responsive mode, and here are some settings for the total menu background. So I want to thank you guys for joining. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you're going to take advantage of this new feature that we've added. And I'm going to see you in the next video.